Hello everyone, I'm Sophie and I'm currently at Kechara Forest Retreat, Bentong, Malaysia. And today I will be doing a sharing from the 50th stanza on the spiritual teacher. This is written by Ayya Shura, who is also known as Ashwagosha, and the commentary is actually by Geshe Ngawang Dage. And reading from the back page about Geshe La. Venerable Geshe Ngawang Dage was born in the Kham province of Tibet in 1928 and attended Sarah J Monastery. He escaped from Tibet in 1959 to India, where he was able to continue teaching and meditating. He received his Geshe Larampa degree in 1969. In 1971, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama asked him to teach Dharma courses to Westerners at the Library of Tibetan Works and Archives in Dharamsala. He now lives in Dunedin, New Zealand, where he is the resident spiritual director at the Dage Dharma Center. This was back in the first revision was 1976, and the second revision was 1992. But he has actually passed away in 1985 while he was in New Zealand. Right, so now we move on to the preface. There's the picture of Geshe Ngawang Dage, and this is is the introductory of Geshe Ngawang Dage's short commentary on the 50 verses. Which is also the 50 stanzas. So in my book is actually the 50 stanzas. Okay, there's 50 stanzas on the spiritual teacher, Guru Pancha Shila. Was written in about the 1st century BC by Ashwagosha. This Indian poet was known by many names such as Ayya Shura, Patricheta, Mati Chitra, and Bhavi Deva, and was a contemporary of King Kanishka of the Kusang dynasty. Having previously been a strong non-Buddhist believer, he became an extremely devout follower of the Buddha's path and wrote many works on its various aspects. I would like to share a bit on the King Kanishka. He lived during 127 to 140. He reigned during 127 to 140, which is 13 years. He was the 4th Kushan king, and he reigned over a vast empire from eastern Afghanistan, which is today, and to northern Pakistan, and also extended to northern India. He is one of the great benefactor of Buddhism, and he convened the Great Buddhist Council in Kashmir. And through the trades along the Silk Road, many Buddhist texts which was produced were carried by monks, and also monasteries were established along the routes from China to other parts of Asia. And also due to the many Buddhist text production, a new language, Gandhara, was also established for the development of the Buddhist texts for countries, such as from eastern Afghanistan to northern Pakistan. So as you can see, he's actually King Kanishka was also a Buddhist, and how he had actually promoted Buddhism and using the Silk Road to have the transfer of Buddhist texts and brought it to the eastern part of Asia. So in this sense, Asvaghosha is also comparable to that, because he's also a great propagator of Buddhism. Right, to the next paragraph. Shakyamuni Buddha lived about 4 centuries before Asvaghosha. He taught sutras dealing with meditative practices for attaining liberation and enlightenment, and in the form of Buddha Vrajadhara tantras covering speedier but more dangerous methods for achieving this latter goal. Okay, in the form of Buddha Vrajadhara, Buddha Shakyamuni had taught tantras, which is speedier path towards liberation, but in a way that it is, just as it is speedier, it can be also very dangerous, because if we were to if we do not practice well, so it's also a faster way to degenerate, which is why it says it's a dangerous method for achieving this latter goal. And the next paragraph. Success in following either the Sutrayana or the Tantrayana path depends solely upon your wholehearted commitment to your spiritual teacher. For Buddha indicated in the Saddha Pundarika Sutra, chapter 2, verse 124, and in the Kedo Sagyo Doje Igyo, an explanatory work to the Havraja Tantra, that in the future times of degeneration, he would take the form of spiritual teacher. As such, these teachers should be as respected, the same as the Buddhas, for they will be their living representatives. In other words, that Buddha has gained enlightenment, and during these degenerate times, with our karmic heavier karma, it's a bit difficult for us to actually meet with the actual Buddha, and so the Buddha has actually compassionately emanated themselves as our spiritual teacher, and to still provide the guide and the teachings to guide us along our practice, our spiritual practice. So that is why the teachers should be respected as the Buddhas, because they are the living representatives of the Buddhas now at our current times. And for the next paragraph, a wholehearted commitment to a spiritual teacher involves both thoughts and actions. The most important thing is to develop the total conviction that your teacher is a Buddha. Such a conviction is prerequisite for receiving any insight. If you are aiming to benefit yourself and overcome all suffering with the attainment of liberation, or reach the perfected state of a fully enlightened Buddha, so that you can liberate others, your spiritual teacher can only show you the way if he himself or she herself has already achieved these accomplishments. If you doubt your teacher's competence and ability to guide you, your practices will be extremely unstable and you'll be unable to make any concrete progress. You must have full confidence that it is possible to be enlightened, to become enlightened, that your spiritual teacher is living proof of this, and that by following Buddha's teachings as he or she instructs, you can achieve the same. Only then will it be possible to gain any benefit from the practices. So as it's quite clear actually, this paragraph, that it explains that you need to really rely on your guru and see him as a Buddha, because he is the representation of the Buddhas. In other words, he has achieved, you know, the teachings of the Buddhas, and he's here to actually give us the pure teachings of the Buddhas. Just as my guru, you know, he teaches purely, you know, the core of all his teachings stems all the way back to the Buddha through the lineage teachings. So as such, you know, we need to develop the state of mind that our guru is actually the Buddha, who is here to teach us, and in our trust that his teachings will be able to bring us to spiritual attainments. And the next paragraph, seeing only good qualities in your spiritual teacher, therefore, is the way to develop these qualities yourself. Normally, most people are blind to their own shortcomings, while the faults of others shine out clearly. But if you did not possess these same faults yourself, you would be unable to recognize them in others. If there are two pieces of fruit, one ripe and one rotten, and the person next to you takes the ripe one, it is only because of your own greed that you accuse him of being greedy and selfish. If you are unattached to the fruit, it would not matter to you which one he took. You would simply see him as having taken a piece of fruit. So here is it explains that actually whatever qualities that you see in others, we actually have it in ourselves, which is why we can recognize it in others. So if you see faults in others, we too have that fault. If you see people as angersome, we ourselves have anger too, because otherwise how do we recognize the anger in others? So as such, you know, it explains, you know, quite clearly that the two pieces of fruit, the apple, you know, if the person that took the ripe one and leaving you the rotten one, if you had not known, if you are unattached to the fruit, you know, then you would have not, it would not have mattered, you know, if you have taken the ripe fruit and left you the rotten one. It is because that if it's your own greed for the ripe one that you see him as greedy and selfish. And for the next paragraph, likewise, if you can train yourself to see only good qualities and never any faults in your guru, this positive outlook will come to pervade, amplify, and reflect your own state of mind. As everyone has the basis Mahamudra or Buddha nature within him or her, the clear, uncontaminated state of pure mind established without any true independent existence, then if you can see your spiritual teacher in terms of a Buddha, you have the possibility of activating and realizing your own Buddha nature, of achieving the resultant Mahamudra. If you see only faults, you merely reinforce your own shortcomings and negative attitudes. Whereas if you see only perfection, you'll be able to attain the perfection of Buddhahood yourself. Therefore, one of the main practices of Guru Yoga, particularly in Mahamudra and the Tantra, is to realize the inseparability of your own mind with your spiritual teacher, the Buddhas, and your meditation deity. which is a pure manifestation of the enlightened mind. Thus, a wholehearted commitment to a spiritual teacher is the root of all attainments. This paragraph actually explains that, as previous, it's like when you see the qualities of others, it means that you have the quality yourself. Therefore, if you were to see only good qualities in your guru, you are bringing out the Buddha nature within yourself, which means that you are actually practicing to see positive quality in yourself, and your state of mind will always be in the constant Buddha nature, which is to see good in others and to bring out the good in others as well. So which means that sorry, not bring out, it means that you bring out your own good qualities, because you're practicing to I mean, you're practicing towards seeing others, the good quality. Sorry, it means that you're training your mind to only see good. So when every time you see good qualities in your guru, then you are also actually bringing out the good qualities within your mind. And this is to train yourself that that it is possible to attain Buddhahood, and that your perfect, I mean, the Buddha mind is no different than the mind of your guru, the state of Buddhahood, and also our meditation deity, which means that in enlightenment, all minds, all enlightened mind are the same. So therefore, it is very important that we commit to our guru, we trust in him, and we rely on him, for he is the one who will bring out all the good qualities in us, and he is also the root for all attainments. Right. My sharing will be up to here today, and tomorrow I will be continuing on, and thank you for sharing this session with me. Right, so I'll end this session with a completion dedication in Tibetan. Jangjo Senjo Rinpoche, Mage Panam Geishi, Ge Panam Pame Payang, Doni Gondo Pewashu, Doni Dowan Rinpoche, Mage Panam Geishi, Ge Panam Pame Payang, Goni Gondo Pewashu, Daso Jini Sapage Wadi, Dandan Drowa Gunagam Padang, Jepa Jesu Nosan Trapai, Tamping Foreign to Sasesho, Gewa Kuntu Yandala Madan, Drami Joki Palalo Jojing, Sadam Langi Yoterazon, Doje Shangi Opangotusu, Gewa Di, Yododa, Lamasang Yodrione, Drewa Chikia Malupa, Dei Salago Pashu, Joki Kaposungapa, Josunampa Pewala, Geki Samasi Wadang, Tungi Manu Sangwashu. Dadam Songi Dosundan, Drewa Songi Latene, Gewa Losantrapai, Tampa Yuriva, Gyushi, Ni Modele Sendele, Ni Megunyandele Shin, Ni Sintato Delepa, Concho Songi Jingilo, Concho Songi Ngotruso, Concho Songi Trasi, Jesunama Kusan Rapting Ching, Nam Katrini Chochu Kepada. Some tempe draw me subsuni, draw a musatato yushi, gawe rawe ko wishing come them, pendandel malu doing, chandran zit one tenzing get so ye, shapeshi de baru de yushi, tomping otro malupa, then the dollar so do so, godan dem palong chotnam, keep us so shake shook then sell. Thank you, see you tomorrow.